All right, what's good, YouTube? We back at you again. This segment is going to be a continuation of what was supposed to happen last night, talking about Tim Bradley and Teddy Atlas. Their collaboration together is going to be under the God Speak segment. Had some recording issues last night, so we brought it in for today. Now, regarding this, man, this is exactly what I've been saying. You know what I'm saying? I said this in a few other videos. I'll say it again. Teddy Atlas is the real fucking deal. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy who is a no-nonsense type of trainer. You know what I'm saying? This is the same guy, and I'll repeat myself for the 5th fucking time. You know what I'm saying? This is the same guy that pointed a gun at a prospect who was perceived to be a multi-millionaire at some point, which he actually became to be, right? Pointed a gun at him because he did not follow his instructions not to fuck with his niece. Not only did he point the gun at him, but he shot past his ear and said, "Fuck you, I'm out." He left money on the table. Right? Trainers get 10%. You know what I'm saying? Cuz D'Amato passed away not too much later. Who you think would have been the head trainer? Teddy Atlas. Right? And the man I'm talking about, of course, is Mike Tyson. My man didn't give a fuck about none of that. Why? Because he disregarded what he told him. And he fucking walked away on him. Same thing with Michael Moore. Michael Moore was getting a little bit too soft in the corner. If y'all remember, Teddy Atlas slapped the shit out of Michael Moore in the fucking George Foreman fight. Because he was acting too fucking soft, right? Wasn't listening to his instructions. He walked out on an elite fighter there. Another guy, Donnie Lalonde. He fought Sugar Ray Leonard. That story is fucking deep, yo. I never read Teddy Atlas's book. I probably will now after doing some research on this shit. But in his book, Teddy Atlas basically goes on to say that he was gonna kill Donnie Lalonde.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Because Donnie Lalonde had left Teddy Atlas because Teddy was too hard on him. You know what I'm saying? And when he left him, he went on to make like 8 million or something. Not 8 million, but a lot of figures with against Sugar Ray Leonard. And Teddy Atlas felt like he did everything he was supposed to do as a trainer to get him to that point in his career, and then the dude fags out on him because it's too hard of a fucking training camp, or Teddy's too hard of a fucking coach. So Teddy loaded a gun, went to Donnie Lalonde's fucking apartment, knocked on the door, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't answer. Then he said he went back to the car and waited for him. And either he showed up or his girlfriend showed up. I can't remember. But he went back. Oh, I know what happened. In the beginning, the first time he went to the door, he knocked on it. The girlfriend answered. She said Donnie wasn't there. Then he went outside and waited in his car. And then Donnie Lalonde showed up. And then Teddy got out his car and was getting ready to go in there. And then he said, "You know what? I just stopped myself, turned around, and went back to my car." So this is a man with a loaded pistol. Yes, he was about to murk this cat, yo. Why? Why? Because he was too soft. You see what I'm saying? So obviously this motherfucker means what he says.
Oh yeah.
And if you look at Tim Bradley's eyes throughout the fight, he madly respects the fucking shit out of Teddy Atlas. I mean, all I saw was respect in his eyes. It reminded me of high school when I played high school ball, how you didn't want to disappoint your coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As a teenager and shit. That's what that shit looked like, B. And then the speech between the 8th and the 9th round. The 9th round being the one where he actually goes out there and knocks Brandon Rios down twice, going to the body before the actual KO, right? The speech was fucking epic. He went off. I mean, I'm on the couch watching this shit like, yeah, motherfucker. Yo. You know what I'm saying? Like if a cat was in front of me right now, he might have got snuffed. You know what I'm saying? That's how hype I was, B. Yo, this is an excellent fucking collaboration. This is something that I have not seen from Tim Bradley in a long time. with Yoel Diaz. And I want to make a point real quick before I turn it over to my man. A lot of people are like, it's Brandon Rios. It's Brandon Rios. All right. First of all, I've heard two different stories. Brandon Rios was drained. I heard that. And then I heard, he was overweight. He was overinflated. Whatever. Well, what the fuck is it? They clash, people.
Yeah.
It's clashing. How the fuck can you be drained and overweight at the same fucking time?
Yeah.
Here's my point, B. Brandon Rios looked exactly the same as he did before the fight and during the fight against Mike Alvarado, a fight before. He looked like a fucking skeleton getting on the scales trying to make the weight.
Yep.
And then he ballooned up about 15 to 20 pounds during the fight. And he had absolutely no problem winning that fight by knockout.
Exactly.
It's the fact that Tim Bradley is an elite fighter. It had nothing to do with Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios is the same old Brandon Rios.
Exactly.
All the way back when he fought Richard Brill. Back then, Richard's name was Richard. He didn't take the D off yet. You know what I'm saying? He was still Richard Abril.
Yep.
Brandon Rios is still the same motherfucker that he was back then.
Exactly.
He just fought an elite fighter, and it's about fucking time people need to start giving Tim Bradley his credit. He's the real deal, and with this man in his corner, one of the best trainers of all time, my favorite trainer right now in the game. With him in his fucking corner, 147 better watch out, B.
Oh yeah, and I absolutely agree. I've always been a big fan of Teddy Atlas.
Yep.
You know, I love his boxing knowledge. I love his commentary. I like everything about the dude. Like you said, he's a no-nonsense type of guy. His approach to the boxing game is different than anybody else's. He's probably one of the most honest people in the sport in terms of just telling you like it is, because he doesn't give a shit. You know, you're not crazier than he is. You know, he doesn't care. And that's the thing that I love about Teddy Atlas, man. And this alliance between him and Timothy Bradley is a match made in heaven.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Timothy Bradley is the fighter that Teddy Atlas was searching for. Teddy Atlas is the trainer that Timothy Bradley needed. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with that type of alliance. When those variables meet each other, good things happen. The 147-pound division definitely better be just on his toes and on his A game, and they better be training really hard, because if you're fighting Tim Bradley, you're gonna be in a fucking fight. With this fight against Brandon Rios, I definitely had Bradley winning, you know, every round. Before the fight, I didn't think Brandon would take a round. I think he got one round, but I never expected Timothy Bradley to stop him.
Yep.
You know? So the adjustment that I seen in the fight was at the beginning, and I think this was their plan. Some people probably thought that Bradley was a sharp fighter and that he's gonna revert back to brawling and all of this other nonsense. But what happened was they fought the fight in increments.
Yeah.
When they first came out, what I wanted them to do, and I'm glad, and I'm sure Teddy stressed this to Tim, was you gotta get your respect. You have to make him respect you. You know, Brandon Rios is one of those type of guys. He's a younger guy. He's been hit by some good punches. You know, never been knocked out by anybody. He rarely really gets rocked by anybody.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of giving him what I call the Bambi legs. You know, he doesn't get that often because he can take a hell of a shot. So he's the type of guy that if you don't put anything on his mind early, he'll try to walk through you and he'll disrespect the shit out of you.
Yeah.
So knowing that, I wanted Tim Bradley to come out early and get his respect.
Yep.
Don't wait until later on in the fight to where Brandon is built up a head of steam, and then you start trying to get your respect, because now shit, he's got the wheels rolling.
And he's got the momentum.
You know?
Yep.
Exactly. So what they did was they came out, They got their respect. And then what did Atlas do? Just like a great teacher and philosopher, he was able to get through Bradley's thick skull and say, hey, you know, you're finishing in front of him now. Now I want you to finish on the side of him.
Yep.
You know, let's keep that movement up, keep that jab in his face, and you know, quit standing right in front of him.
Yep.
That's something that Joel Diaz wasn't able to do. See, when Tim lost his mind in a fight, Diaz, and I love Joel Diaz, don't get me wrong, man, he's a great trainer.
He's my second favorite.
Exactly.
Yep.
But Joel was not able to get through Bradley's skull and say, hey, slow the fuck down. He would say it, but Bradley, it would go in one ear and out the other.
Yep.
You know, probably because Bradley was half near, you know, I mean, almost out on his damn feet, you know, but but he you know, he just wasn't able to get through to him, man. And like you said, that speech, we're firemen, you know.
Yeah, man.
I got so amped up, man, when I heard Teddy tell him that, because I understood what that meant. You know, we understood what that meant. You know?
Yeah.
Guys like Timothy Bradley, they don't run away from the fire.
Nope.
You know, they're not afraid to get burned. You know, but they gotta figure out the smartest way to put the fire out.
Good point, B.
And when he said that to him, I knew exactly where it was coming from. And what did Bradley do? He figured out the smartest way to put that fire out. He went to the body. Yep. Why are you gonna stand there and pound a guy to the head when you're not a big puncher?
And he's got an excellent chin.
He's got an excellent chin, and he's been hit by fucking Manny Pacquiao.
Yep.
You know, who's a really good puncher. So guess what you do? You drop down and you go to his body.
Yep.
You make him sorry for eating tacos and chicken, and you know, well, fried chicken and all of that shit. Yep. You make him sorry.
Yep.
For stepping in the ring and not being on his A game, for stepping in the ring and not being 100%. Yep. You beat the shit out of his body. Yep. And that's exactly what he did, man. So I love this alliance. I can't, if this is what 7 weeks looks like, I'm wondering what a year is gonna look like under
exactly
Teddy Atlas's tutelage.
That's exactly what he said too. That's funny you say that. Yep.
And so, man, I'm really just ecstatic about this relationship, man. You know, hopefully they can get some of the bigger name guys in there with Tim. You know, and that's gonna be on his managing team, Monica, and his promoters to stop. And you know, as a fan, I mentioned this yesterday, but we didn't get to post it because of the technical difficulties we were having. But as a fan, I'm almost insulted to see Bradley in the ring with some of these cats that he's been in the ring with.
Oh yeah.
You know, Brandon Rios, Diego Chavez, Jesse Vargas. He doesn't need to be in the ring, exactly. He doesn't need to be in the ring with these cats, man. These guys should be on the outside watching Tim fight. They shouldn't be on the inside fighting Tim. Tim should be in the ring with Kell Brook. Yep. He should be in the ring with, you know, the Sean Porters of the world, the Keith Thurmans, just whatever. And honestly, I don't think that Top Rank has the stable to challenge Tim Bradley. So, man, aside from that, man, I'm just ready to see what this alliance holds in the future.
Right. One point I want to make: a lot of people out there who still don't want to give him his credit. They also discredit Teddy Atlas. I've seen a lot of people basically say that Teddy, it's too early right now to give any type of credit to Teddy because it was just Brandon Rios. Well, let me tell you this, people. Number one. What did Tim Bradley do in the 12th round against Jesse Vargas? Number two, what did Tim Bradley do in the 1st and 2nd rounds and then in the 11th and 12th rounds against Ruslan Provodnikov? Number three, what did Tim Bradley do in the last half of the rematch against Manny Pacquiao? He did not do that not one time against Brandon Rios. Why? Because of the guy that he had in his corner. He respected his discipline. You see what I'm saying? The discipline that Teddy Atlas brought to the camp, he respected it. it was it was so evident that there was discipline in that camp that in the post-fight press conference, Tim Bradley says, and I quote, "Yeah, he said he's gonna come back for the next fight, so I'm happy for that." If you think about that, Teddy Atlas already put something on his mind, like, "Yo, I may be here, I may not be."
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You go out there and fuck up.
Exactly. That's exactly what the fuck Teddy was insinuating by putting that on his mind. Now, of course, Teddy embraced him right after that and was like, "A good person like you, I'll never leave you." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is after the fact. And I'm telling what the fuck was said before. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he said something, or else Tim Bradley wouldn't have been like, "Oh, yeah, he said he's coming back from another fight. I'm happy." You see what I'm saying? So, with that said, man, it's the discipline, it's the respect that Teddy Atlas demands from his fighters, right? That's what Tim Bradley can't. That's what he respects. That's why they're made for each other. All right. And Tim Bradley knew this coming in. He knew Teddy Atlas's reputation. All right. And I said this in another video. Teddy Atlas is not gonna teach him anything new. The only thing he did was he made him tap into his roots.
Yep.
And then on top of that, he threw discipline at him. Take this discipline, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To ensure that you continue to do what you're supposed to do. And that's be Tim Bradley, not Provodnikov Bradley, but more like Junior Witter, Kendall Holt, Devin Alexander, Manny Pacquiao in the first fight, Tim Bradley. Be that one. You see what I'm saying? And if you don't, then don't think that I won't be here to bust your ass in your corner to try to make you become that. Perfect, man.
Perfect.
Yo.
Perfect. You
said
add all that up, and you got success, man.
Exactly. And you said it earlier, man. I would love to see what happens in a year. Now that we got that behind us, they talking about Manny Pacquiao getting a fucking trilogy.
Oh.
And then Teddy Atlas actually called out Floyd. I mean, he has that much respect for Tim Bradley's fighting ability that he's like, shit, we want Floyd.
Yeah.
And that's a fight that I couldn't wait to see since 2009. Now, I stopped wanting to see it when I saw what Tim Bradley had turned into after the death threats, you know what I'm saying, and he couldn't take all the hatred. When he turned into that Tim Bradley, I was like, oh, Floyd kills that nigga. You know what I'm saying? But the Tim Bradley before that, I wanted to see that fight since 2009, B. What do you think about Bob Arum basically saying that there could possibly be a trilogy between him and Pacquiao? And how do you think that fight would turn out?
I don't know if I want to see a third fight between him and Manny. Only because really Manny's had so many rematches against so many fighters.
Yeah.
If he's on his way out the door, I want to see him fight somebody new.
Yeah.
You know, the names outside of Timothy Bradley, I'm pretty intrigued by. Amir Khan, Terrence Crawford. You know, I like him against those names. Then if they do have a trilogy, it would be probably a safer fight with Timothy Bradley because Tim is not a big puncher and he's just not going to beat the shit out of Pacquiao. He may outbox the shit out of him, but in terms of Manny taking some pretty heavy damage, I don't see it happening. But this Bradley definitely will beat Manny Pacquiao. He'll outbox the shit out of Manny Pacquiao.
Oh, yeah.
And I made this point in one of our earlier videos, man. When you have a masterclass boxer that lets his hands go, it doesn't get any better than that, people.
Nope.
You look, and now, listen to what I said, a masterclass boxer.
Yeah.
Not a brawler
that
lets his hands go, because that's what they're supposed to do. That's what they're trained to do. A masterclass boxer that can pick his shots and then hit you with 4 more after that. That's
Postal.
Timothy Bradley. And Victor Postal, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So, man, when you got a guy like that and his career is just, he's rejuvenated, his career is rejuvenated, he's got a new trainer in his corner, man, I would definitely pick him to win. the odds might be better this time. And if you guys remember in the last fight, Bradley was doing well. He's doing very good in the earlier rounds.
Yeah.
Then he turned into dumb Bradley.
Dumbass Bradley.
He ended up injuring himself in the fight, tearing his calf, and then he just started fighting like a complete crazy dude. He looked like an amateur. And let me preference that. He looked like when you first start in the amateurs, before you go open, you have 1 minute rounds.
Yeah.
So typically what happens is when they ring that bell, no matter how well you can box, the guy across from you is trying to do everything he can within that 1 minute.
Yep.
So when I say he looked like an amateur, that's how he looked. He looked like he was literally fighting a 1 minute round, and he was just gonna go out there and swing like crazy and hope he lands something that knocked Manny out. Only problem with that is he's not a power puncher.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like Tim couldn't get that through his head. It was like it almost seemed like he was thinking, "Damn, I'm swinging as hard as I can."
Oh.
But my fists just aren't really impacting him the way that I'm swinging.
Dog, that was the worst. That was probably the most frustrating fight
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen in recent times, man.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I wanted to jump into the ring and smack shit out this cue ball head motherfucker. And I was actually writing him off. Not because he lost, but because he gave the fight away.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
He did,
I was
yeah.
like, man, fuck this dude, man. He ain't no boxer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad he made the change because it's like you said earlier, it's not necessarily Yoel Diaz's fault. It's just that their relationship has reached its peak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Their relationship was at the top of the mountain. Now it was rolling down. It was time to come down. It didn't matter what Yoel Diaz did. He did everything exactly like Teddy Atlas does, actually. I mean, as far as in the corner, I'm not sure about training camps, but in the corner, he's feisty. What the fuck are you doing, man? You know what I'm saying? He gets in his face. He gives him the right instructions. He was fine. He was doing everything the way that he's supposed to do. It's just that the respect was no longer there, and the change had to be made. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. My last point is Timothy Bradley and Joel Diaz. They remind me of, if anybody has ever seen this commercial, there were commercials back in the day with Kobe Bryant. It was called the Kobe System. And there's this part where he's talking to Richard Branson, and Richard Branson is like, "I've been to the bottoms of the ocean, and I've been to the moon. I feel as if I'm living success at success." And Kobe Bryant says, "Are you living success at success at success?" And my point is, Bradley and Joel Diaz, that was success at success. They topped out at that point. They hit a ceiling.
Exactly.
Joel Diaz wasn't challenging him. He wasn't giving him that Kobe Bryant question. Are you living success at success at success? That's where Teddy Atlas comes in. And Teddy Atlas breaks it out just like that. And he says, look, you've been successful. You've got to this point. But what's after that? Let me challenge you to go after that.
Hell yeah.
So that's what it is, man. And I'm happy for it. Like I said, to me, he beats Manny Pacquiao, But I would love to see him fight. Let me pose this question to you before we close it out.
Yes, sir.
I'm hearing more talks about Timothy Bradley versus Canelo Alvarez than I am Timothy Bradley versus Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people are starting in on that.
I mean, I'm up and down on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really love what Teddy Atlas is bringing to the table. Tim, dog, just stay at 147. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no, I don't want to knock a guy that wants to be great. All right. We've always said in the history of boxing, right? Enthusiast fans, spectators, whatever, right? We've always said that you must rise to the occasion, right?
Absolutely.
You must step up and take the toughest challenge. and overcome that to be great, right?
Yep. Yep.
This would be probably the toughest challenge going to not 154, but 155, because Canelo no longer fights at 154. His weight is he's created his own weight class, 155. You know what I'm saying? Which, in all honesty, is actually middleweight. So Tim Bradley will be moving from welterweight to middleweight, skipping junior middleweight if he fought Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
That's 2 weight classes. You know what I'm saying? That is his great moment to where he is automatically Hall of Fame status.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If he wins that fight.
Yep.
But there's so many fish to fry at 147.
Oh.
I mean, you got Keith Thurman, you got Kell Brook, you got DSG, Danny Garcia, you got what's my man, Sean Porter. I mean,
the possibilities are endless.
You got Errol Spence. You got prospects that are coming out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The possibility. Amir Khan. The possibilities are fucking endless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to see him fight those guys. He doesn't have to fight every last one of them. Tim Bradley probably would do that. Bless you, yo.
Thank you.
Tim Bradley probably would do that. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't have to fight all those guys. I just want to see him take a few of those guys down before he jumps up to 154. Now, that's a motherfucking fight I would love to see, especially with Teddy Atlas in his corner.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I'm saying? Joel Diaz, no.
Yeah. No.
You know what I'm saying? No.
Yeah.
But Teddy Atlas, fuck yeah. I want to see that shit, but just not right now, man.
Yeah. I got you. I agree, man.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go ahead and end the segment right here. YouTube, do what you do in the comment section. Let us know what you think about Tim Bradley and the collaboration with Teddy Atlas. Is it real? Is it bullshit? Also, do you think Tim Bradley has the tools now to beat Manny Pacquiao decisively and to jump up possibly 2 weight classes to battle Canelo Alvarez? Let us know what you think. But be real. This is real talk for real fans. 1.